Today we're reviewing
Pups Save a Baby Anteater!
It maybe looks a little suspiciously sheep-like, but the Baby Anteater sure is cute. The paw house style back then usually makes critters cute, but sometimes it's a bit uncanny. This works.
Maybe we should call Antony a honey bun eater instead.
Everest's here, and she's a cutie pie here. It's fun seeing her out of her element in the desert, even if it makes a bit of a nonsense of her fears of only being useful in the snow in the special. We can headcanon the special was set before this. Her little joke at the end is a classic old man joke of the sort this writer, Robin J. Stein, often puts in. But I think that's charming and cozy.
You're welcome.
This is a great crew for a short episode segment. Let me scoot over so you can see Marshall. This is another of the outlier quarter episode segments at the end of Season 8 that we really didn't get anywhere else. I like the dynamic these three have. Super cute.
Marshall, Everest, the wingnuts need our help. Let's roll.
You know what? Much as the comfortingly repetitive nature of the show and its lengthy dispatch scene is, I feel, core to its enduring success, when you see it like this and they just cut all the flab and get straight to work, well, you gotta think at least a little about how nice it would be if it were always like this. I kinda love that there's not really a reason for Everest to be so far out of her element. Why shouldn't the snow and mountain rescue pup be in the desert showing off half-pipe style tricks in her snowcat? I wish all the pups who have a setting they're not really allowed to appear out of could do this. And this is also just outright a cool shot.
Yeah, you deserve a treat. Here comes a donut truck.
Remember how I've said many times I don't like cockiness, but love when a character is a bit cocky then immediately gets undermined? This is exactly what I mean. He makes a cute, dorky dad joke, and then immediately overestimates himself, but ends up looking silly.
I do not know what went wrong, but thanks, Everest.
That's the absolute upper limit of how many bad puns Marshall should make. Take notes, Roxy. And the animators don't quite seem sure whether to make him look giddy or sad, but he's super cute, so he can get away with it. And while I continue to totally not see it as shippable in any way, it's nice when Marshall and Everest have some moments of sweet friendship.
Ryder, a baby anteater stuck on lightning bolt.
I don't really care for Mr. Wingnut, but somehow I really liked how that was animated. Very expressive.
Don't worry, Mr. and Mrs. Wingnut. We'll save Antony. Chase.
Similarly, this not very remarkable shot just seems very nice and smooth, as well as lit with shadows that are nicer than average for the show.
If Antony falls off, he could get poked.
We can't let that happen.
I find the way Everest phrased that very endearing. He'll just get poked, like a cactus will gently prod him with a finger. It maybe doesn't help this seem high stakes, but it's oddly adorable. Excellent flappity ears.
Come on, little buddy. Jump. You can do it. Gotcha.
I kinda hesitated over whether to put this in positives or negatives. Not because of the moment itself, which is definitely on the cute side, but ultimately Everest's contribution to this mission is just making it safe for Antony to jump to a vehicle. Marshall, Chase, and honestly pretty much all the other pups have a means to do this. So there's really no reason at all for Everest to be in the desert, or part of this mission, in a metatextual context. Which in writing terms made me lean towards a negative, but fundamentally, is that a bad thing? I want pups outside the core 6, indeed the core 8, to just show up no matter the setting and contribute, even if not uniquely. So really, this should be something I celebrate.
And so many of them. Ooh, what if they get in the trailer?
For a pup-free opening in a very short mini-segment, this is at least nice and brief. But it's pretty clearly not the visual the writer was imagining. The idea was fairly transparently a sudden inundation of ants, because 3, with 2 more on the way, isn't very troubling. I can't see their rendering pipeline really struggling with more of a swarm, but this was also an issue with the later Jungle Pups Giant Ants segment. Done like this, it's a jarring overreaction.
Meet Anthony. He and his anteater family have a den just outside our ranch.
Oh, the death and wanton destruction. When so many episodes have cute ants and even Rubble befriending one with clear human-like sapience, this is a bit horrific. A bit like McSquidly being around characters who love eating squid jerky. It's something that's pretty disturbing if you think about it. Which, obviously, the show encourages you not to.
Honey must have given him sticky paws.
The overall scenario is fine. Runaway thing, no problem. And it's kind of fun. It's a throwback to Lightning Bolt, who appeared 4 seasons earlier. But, just as Rocky's Garage does years later, I think you're gonna confuse kids about how sticky honey is. I don't think that's a super useful thing to do for kids learning about the world. Nitpick, but they went a bit overboard with how much Marshall spins out of control from just doing a donut.
Rough launcher!
This also didn't seem like it translated well from idea to imagery. I can accept Chase sometimes getting pinpoint accuracy with his ball launcher, as and when the plot needs it, but the idea was clearly that if the door wasn't opened, Oscar the Ostrich would get trampled and hurt. Visually, though, it looks like standing slightly to the side was a far better option you'd expect an animal to do. And letting out the ostrich completely seems like making another dangerous problem you have to deal with later.
Chase, quick! The tortoise! Rough!
And the same problem here. That comes across as a scenario you can sort of hand-wave in a written story, but looks a bit bizarre depicted visually. Lightning bolt jumping onto the net when it plowed right through an ostrich pen just doesn't make much sense.
Steady! Fire!
Maybe start with this? Anthony was glued on with the mega sticky honey, so it's not like he'd have been thrown off. You really need to write some reason this can't be what they start with, or it seems really weak. It'd be easy to have Anthony stuck in a way that they can't get to that off switch. This is another of the quarter segments that doesn't have much to it. A very simple runaway thing script like so many others. It is nice to skip the briefing preamble and get right to the mission, but it wasn't a very distinctive task. Several ideas didn't seem to translate well to animation, and a bunch of ants dying on screen when ants have been shown as intelligent is also chilling. But the show's done that with sea life from the start. At the same time, I like how Stein writes the characters as little jokers. This is a good example of Season 8 visual tweaks, and I like this crew. Overall, 6.5 out of 10. Nothing very memorable or smart, but functional, and the pups are a pleasure. Plus, this is one of the best examples to point to when arguing pups can totally appear for no reason outside their themes. Alright, let me know what you think of this little mini episode as well. Why not click here to see my review of the previous quarter episode segment, or how about clicking here to see an Everest-centric fan animation. That's all for today though, and I'll see you guys again next time.